What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to talk about a trade that neither fan base wants to see their team do, and it's been talked about a lot on Twitter, and the idea of Zach LaVine going to the Los Angeles Lakers and Chicago getting like Austin Reaves, like Rui Hachimura and stuff like that. And to me, it seems like every single Chicago fan hates that idea, and every single Lakers fan hates that idea as well. But today, I'm going to make this trade happen. We're once again talking about the Chicago Bulls. Obviously, they're a huge topic this offseason with what they're going to do at the trade deadline. But we're going to make Austin Reaves an absolute superstar in Chicago if this trade did happen to go through in real life, which I don't think it will, but it's still a fun video nonetheless. Before we get in today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one, and of course, subscribe if you are new to this channel. If this is your first time being here, hello and welcome to the channel. I'm very excited to have you. But with that all being said, I have a quick plug really quick. I have a new episode of the HoopsCrush podcast dropping today. It's probably out right now. I posted a link to it in the community tab. Of course, it'll also be linked down in the description below if you're interested in hearing me talk basketball outside of just 2K. So if you're going to check that out, that is open there as well. But as I said, we're talking about the Chicago Bulls, and here's the trade that's been kind of thrown around about the idea of the Lakers getting Zach LaVine at the trade deadline. Do they need to do that? I don't know. Will the Bulls be interested in trading to the Lakers? I have no clue. But here is the trade. So, by the way, I also traded DeMar DeRozan for Kyle Lowry in a first-round pick. I still have no idea where DeMar DeRozan fits in the league, to be honest with you. I don't even know if he's a great fit in Miami, but Miami is going to be looking for help, I assume, at the deadline. And maybe they like DeMar DeRozan. I don't think he's the greatest fit there, though, to be honest with you. But I don't know where else he goes. I just don't. So, I'm not confident in the DeMar DeRozan idea, but traded for his former best friend and teammate and a first-round pick. So, that's taken care of. But this one is Zach LaVine, Terry Taylor, Julian Phillips, Torrey Craig, over to the Los Angeles Lakers for Austin Reaves, Rui Hachimura, Jalen Hood-Schifino, Gabe Vincent as salary filler, and a first-round pick, a future first. I think the Lakers have like 2 or 3 firsts they can trade, but I just threw 1 in here. So I can totally understand why Chicago fans would think this is not enough for Zach LaVine, and I can also understand why Lakers fans don't want to give this much for Zach LaVine. I mean, obviously, people are biased on their players and what they're worth, and we don't know what happens until trades actually happen. So this is not like a all said and done. This is going to be the trade, obviously. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't even know if this trade's going to happen, but it's a fun video nonetheless. So now Austin Reaves is the heart and soul of Chicago here. Basically, there's been a lot of things on Twitter saying that the Chicago Bulls would covet Austin Reaves and Rui Hachimura in a trade with the Lakers. So, which is why we're doing this video. So Austin Reaves is going to be the new guy we build around in Chicago. We're making this a fun little video today. Rui Hachimura here as well, which I like the idea of. Both of them locked up for the next 3 years. Still have Kobe White, still have Alex Caruso, who I honestly kind of want to move at the trade deadline right now. He might regret. Actually, since we're on Joe DeKelmer share scenario, he might not actually regress, which could give us, the benefit of keeping him. Lonzo Ball, of course, out for the season. And then I'm not in a huge rush to trade Nikola Vucevic. We could trade him in the offseason if we need to. So let's take a look at what this rotation would look like if we went with it this season. So it's going to be Kobe White, Austin Reaves, Rui Hachimura, Patrick Williams, and then Nikola Vucevic, Alex Caruso, Javon Carter, Gabe Vincent, and then Andre Drummond, and then Kyle Lowry off the bench. So I don't hate it. The only thing I want to do, though, is I want to boost Austin Reaves' shot tendency through the roof. I want to see if he can come out there and just absolutely start dominating here in Chicago. I've done a video on this before when he was on the Los Angeles Lakers, but it makes like a ton of sense to me if he was traded to Chicago, how much freedom he would have. But right now he's averaging 14 points per game. So let's see if that goes up at all this season. We're stopped at the trade deadline right now. We're going to simulate the rest of the season with how things are currently. And I'll see you guys at the end of the season. And then we'll continue to build around Austin Reaves. I also have his progression up like crazy, so I'm hoping he goes up to like an 85 in the offseason or something. But of course, as you guys know, today's video is brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is a player props app that's available on mobile or desktop. When you go on a PrizePicks, this is what the user interface looks like. They basically have every sport you can imagine. They have esports, NFL, NBA, golf. Like, there's all kinds of things you can choose from. But if we go to the NBA, they have all kinds of stats you can choose from here as well. But how it works is you choose between 2 to 6 players, 2 players being 3 times your entry, all the way up to 6 players being 25 times their entry. You simply click more or less on the projection that they give you. So if you think Garland's going to go over 19.5 points, you simply click more. If you think, let's say Miles Bridges is going to go under tonight, you simply click less. It's that simple. I've been using PrizePicks since 2021. It's a ton of fun. I love it every single day. And you guys can go ahead and sign up with the link down in the description below. Use code Crushables to match your first deposit. $1 for $1 up to $100. So PrizePicks, a ton of fun. I definitely recommend it. And the tool I've been using on PrizePicks is DGF's correlation tool, man. I love this tool so much. If you've been using it since August of 18th, you're currently up 534.6 units. The name of the game here is volume, and it's a lot of fun. So basically, they give you a slip and you put it in. That's basically it's simple as that. Sometimes they have basketball correlations on here, but if you want to go to this like San Francisco Eagles game, you simply put this in. If Brock Purdy is going to throw for a bunch of yards, which is X, then obviously Y could happen where Ayuk and Debo go up on their yards because that's who he's going to be throwing to. So it's basically, it kind of correlates a game script for you. And if it goes your way, then obviously you're going 6 for 6, which I happened to get for me on Monday in that Bears and Vikings game. So ton of fun. If you want to sign up for DGF correlation tool, link is down in the description below. Also, they have a YouTube channel to learn more about this if you want more details. But thank you to PrizePicks and for DGF for sponsoring today's video. So at the end of year one, things obviously did not go very well whatsoever. The Lakers actually ended up getting the first seed in the West after they get Zach LaVine, but we ended up being like the 14th seed in the East. Sorry, I think I meant to say, I think I said West, but obviously we're in the East. So Eastern Conference 14th seed, 21-61. If we take a look at the player stats, you had 17 from Austin Reaves. So he did go up a little bit, nothing crazy, but obviously we were halfway through the season anyway, so like it wasn't maybe going to take a huge jump, but no matter what, if Austin Reaves does not develop after I boosted his like progression, then I'm going to develop him myself. I want him to be the theme and title of this video, which is why we're going to have a lot of fun with Austin Reaves today. So let's go ahead, summarize these playoffs, and let's see who goes far or not. So Miami also with DeMar DeRozan, they get eliminated in round 1. Lakers beat the Clippers. They're in the finals. You got Anthony Davis, finals MVP. So we got Joel Embiid versus Anthony Davis. This should be fun. And the Lakers go on to win the championship with Zach LaVine. Does this change your mind at all, Lakers fans? Do you want Zach LaVine now? I don't know. Player retirements. LeBron James is going to ride off in the sunset on a ring. I actually think that's a beautiful way for him to retire, so we'll just leave that the way it is. All right, draft lottery time. Obviously, we were horrible, so I would love a lottery pick here. We're projected the second overall pick, and obviously Portland's pick, but it is lottery protected, so we are not getting that pick. So let's see what happens. We are going to end up with pick 6. Wow, that is basically the Bulls' way of lottery luck. That's what happens to them, I think, every year. They're always picking at like 6 or 7. So that is unfortunate for them. Although they did get 4 the year they took Patrick Williams. So Billy Donovan, I think a lot of people are over him in Chicago. So we can go ahead and fire Mr. Billy Donovan. We have Mike D'Antoni here. We have Jenkins, Becky Hammond, Monty Williams, who's been terrible in Detroit, and they paid him an absolute bag. Doc Rivers is here waiting in the background. You know what? Give me Mike D'Antoni. Why not? This is because we're using Joe DeKelmer's file. He does a great job. He has coaches that obviously aren't in usually 2K, which actually that's his. I don't know how he gets these guys, but that's Mike D'Antoni for you. So that's cool. Unless if he's just someone on someone's staff and I'm just never aware of it. But Shot Doctor, let's go ahead and fill this out. We'll grab Drew, and then he says no, actually, so we're not getting him. And then we could draft at pick 6 with whoever we get. So we're going to go Dana McGee. We'll sign him, and boom, let's go straight to draft night. So let's see who we're about to take on draft night. I don't know if there's any trades I'm wanting to make here on draft night. I mean, since we have Austin Reaves and we're going to try to make him a superstar and he's 26 years old, we're pretty much in win now mode in a way. So Lonzo Ball, I don't think I'm going to trade him. I think we're actually going to keep him around on this team and have Austin Reaves and Lonzo Ball be our backcourt of the future here in Chicago. This is going to be kind of a quick retool rather than a rebuild, full-on tear-down rebuild, because I feel like that's something Chicago's front office would try to do anyway, where they don't totally tear it down to the studs. So I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility that they do that in real life. We can keep Caruso, of course, as a backup guard as well. So I don't hate the idea of keeping Caruso. Rui Hachimura obviously is going to be a starting forward for us, most likely. Gabe Vince as a backup point guard. Don't hate it. And then Vucevic would be like the one narrative or one guy I would love to move on from. I don't really want him to be the starting center this offseason or going forward. So Brook Lopez is being offered to me. But I'm going to try to cook up a trade for Vucevic. I'm not really sure where I could send him to. I guess maybe the Suns want to move on from Nurk and would rather have Vucevic. I guess that's not... I mean, I don't know. They're kind of similar in a way, so I'm not really sure if that makes a ton of sense for Phoenix. And then Chris Paul could be offered to us. I'll wait till after the draft. Let's just jump in and draft at 6 and see who falls to us. So Collier goes 1 to the Mavericks. You're going to have Ron Holland going to the Grizzlies. You're going to have Stephon going to the Pacers. Ade Mara. You're going to have Alex. Ooh, man. Alex Sarr. If he would have fell to me, I would have taken him. But we instead have Nikola Topic. We have Justin Edwards. We have Jacoby Walter. We could take Buzelis. I think we have to take Buzelis, right? Or we could take Klingon as well. But I think it makes sense to take Buzelis at this point. We don't need another guard in this situation. So give me Montez Buzelis out of the G League Ignite, I believe. So welcome to the team. He's going to be a 77 overall. Alex Sarr would have been my dream pick, but it's all good. So Player options, Lonzo Ball, of course, he's going to accept his player option. He's been out with an injury. Doesn't make any sense for him to be like, okay, I'm going to go sign somewhere else. Patrick Williams, depending on the money, I would like to bring him back. He's asking for 17 million. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. And then we could sign a center, it looks like. So we could go out there and maybe give Nicholas Claxton a contract. I mean, if we're going to try to retool this team, Claxton would be like the perfect guy to bring in here. And Chicago is not like the worst place for free agents to go to. So I am going to go ahead and move on from Vucevic here. We're going to cook up a trade for Vucevic. And I'm going to go all in on bringing Claxton to the Chicago Bulls. That way we kind of have a foundational center down low with Austin Reaves and Lonzo Ball going forward. We are going to be Nicholas Claxton's #1 offer, which is great. I'm curious if I have to renounce Patrick Williams in order to do this. I might have to. It looks like I got to. So I don't want to renounce Patrick Williams. So what I'm going to try to make this happen is we're going to try to make this a sign and trade. So since Claxton is coming to Brooklyn, basically the Nets don't want to lose it for nothing. I don't know what the Nets are entirely doing in real life anyway. They can just have Vucevic. Like maybe they just take Vucevic off our hands and they'll have their replacement there. So now we can probably keep Patrick Williams, which is great. So now we get to keep Claxton and Patrick Williams. That's beautiful. Beautiful work. So Claxton welcome to Chicago. And then now we can sign Patrick Williams back to a nice little deal. So welcome to Chicago, or welcome back, I should say. So Patrick Williams is going to sign that contract, which is great. And now we have the ability to sign another good free agent if we'd like. So right now our point guard position is looking like this. We have a lot of good backup point guards. I forgot about Hood Schifino potentially being a huge piece going forward. Lonzo Ball will be the starter. We have Kobe White. We have Alex Caruso, Aidasumo. We have a lot of guards at this point. Montez Buzelis right now would be our starting 3. But we could obviously slide Patrick Williams and Rui Hachimura to that spot. So we're going to go ahead and probably do that. Hachimura could go, Patrick Williams goes up. So that's a no-brainer to me. We're going to slide him to the 3. He'll play the 3. So we'll have Patrick Williams, Montez Buzelis share that small forward spot. And then we need some front court depth, which I think it makes sense to probably, I was going to keep Caruso. Or we still could keep Caruso. We'll see. But I am going to probably try to make some trades for a front court, although we could sign, someone in free agency like Tillman we bring over. We could just bring back Drummond as well, who was just here in Chicago. So minimum contract be our backup 5, and then Osman as our backup 4, or Haywood Highsmith. I wouldn't hate Haywood Highsmith, so we'll go ahead, give him a contract as well to come to Chicago, and then we'll probably still try to dump some of these guards that we have because there's just too much guards at this point that there's not gonna be enough minutes. There just won't be. I'm going to slide Kobe White and Aidasumo over to the Sacramento Kings for Trey Lyles and Colby Jones. I'm going to try to squeeze a second out of them as well if possible. They want a first. That's not going to happen. They were going to give me a top 10 protected pick. Let's just do the original trade. Now they want a sec. Actually, they'll give me a first. I trade 2 seconds, so they'll give me a first. I feel a lot better about that trade now. So just like that, we bring Trey Lyles in as a brand new backup 4, maybe even a starter if they want him over Rui, which would suck. But Claxton and Drummond, and then we kind of have our situation figured out. We have 3 point guards. We have Alex Caruso as the backup 2. So I'm curious to see if Reaves goes up after I boosted his progression. So he did not move. I'm going to go ahead and fix that myself. I want him to be, like I said, a theme of this video. I boosted his shot tendency up. I boosted his progression up, but it did not matter, unfortunately. Caruso did go down, so we'll have to keep that in mind. Still someone we can maybe trade the deadline if we need to. But I am going to go ahead and boost Austin Reaves, overall up. I want him to be a theme of this video. So for whatever, well, his overall does not, wait, does it not, what's going on? Why is it not moving? That's okay. I think I was doing the wrong thing. So now we got it fixed. Okay, so Reaves, I'm gonna push up to an 85. I want him to develop. So like I said, that's just kind of the fun arc of this video. I know that's obviously not gonna happen in real life, but that's the theme of this video, is making Austin Reaves a superstar. So let's get straight into next season and let's see what this is about to look like. I'm excited. I want Reaves to be like a 25 point per game scorer for this team. Parker's gonna let us 27, so it's not great. Mike D'Antoni's our new head coach, which I think when we have Mike D'Antoni, we got to run the 7 seconds offense. So let's do that. If I can get back to that point, which I on the wrong button. So proficiency, 7 seconds to me is a no-brainer. So our starting 5 is interesting. I don't hate it. We're back to maybe being like a team that could be in the playoffs again, which I at least hope, because this is what we're kind of wanting to be. So if we take a look at the team, Lonzo Ball is back and healthy. They actually want to start Montez Buzelis right away, which I'm not against necessarily, but I think I'd rather start Patrick Williams still. So we'll have Patrick Williams start. So it'll be Lonzo, Reaves, Patrick Williams, Rui, Claxton, Buzelis, Trey Lyles, Caruso, and Andre Drummond. I like it. We're going to go ahead, simulate this season. Hopefully we're a playoff team, but we'll see what happens. So at the end of year number 2, things went fairly well. We are back in the playoffs as a 6th seed in the Eastern Conference. Obviously, we're not like a contender just yet, but beautifully, exactly what I want to see. Austin Reaves averages 24.5 points per game, which is lovely. 15 from Lonzo Ball, 13 from Buzelis, 13 from Rui Hachimura, 12 from Trey Lyles, 10 from Patrick Williams, and then 10 and 9 from Claxton. Also 2 blocks, which is great. I feel like we probably need like one more big move this offseason, and we'd be ready to be a contender next year. I'm glad we're a playoff team, but if we can get like a legitimate forward next to this squad, like maybe we replace Rui Hachimura with the better forward, then I think we'd be really good next year. So they still want to start Buzelis over Patrick Williams. But I'm still going to start Patrick Williams. Trey Lyles is now starting as well. But we get Cleveland in round 1. So Cleveland, of course, they are always going to have, Mitchell, Garland, Mobley, Allen. We're probably not going to beat them, but let's see what happens. We are going to win one game on them, but unfortunately we fall short. So yeah, I think the next big move is this offseason. We got to get a legitimate forward in the building. So whether that's power forward, small forward, whatever, we need to get someone. So retirements, Iguodala, hanging it up. Let's go to the draft lottery. And we do have Portland's pick is actually going to be not in the lottery, so we actually get it this year. So it ends up being Hawks number 1 via Sacramento, and then the Blazers pick ends up being 17, and then I believe our pick belongs to the Spurs, if I'm not mistaken. So the Spurs have 3 and 4, which is wild, and then yeah, they have ours as well. So they have 4 firsts in this draft, which shout out to the Spurs for that. But staff signing, we have Mike D'Antoni still. We're gonna go ahead and leave that the way it is. We got to fill out the rest of this. But I will see you guys with the next move where hopefully we have the ability to trade for a forward. So I know who I have my heart set on as far as who I want to get at the small forward spot for us. And that is going to be on, well, it would be funny if I could bring Jimmy Butler back to the team, but that's not going to happen, obviously. Lauri Markkanen also could maybe bring him back to Chicago, but I'm not going to go that route either. Instead, we're going to talk about RJ Barrett, 84 overall, 25 years old. He's honestly a stud in 2K, so I feel good about the idea of bringing him in. He still kind of fits the timeline of the team as well, where he can help us win out and still somewhat young at 25. So they are rebuilding and willing to move on from him, which is great. So we're going to swoop in and see if we can make a trade happen. So we're going to offer Rui Hachimura, which right there, the salary matches, and 17. And then I'm willing to throw Gabe Vincent in here as well. And let's say this Lakers pick. Let's see what they say to this. All of this for RJ. They agree. Just like that, we have ourselves a new small forward in Chicago and RJ Barrett, and he could be the secondary guy to now obviously Austin Reaves, which is great. So I love that, and I think that's huge for us going forward. So we can move Patrick Williams secondary position back to small forward, and now we have this going for us. So Lonzo, we're gonna have to re-sign him, of course. Javon Carter is gonna be gone. Hood Schifino will be our backup guard next year. Russo, probably gonna have to let him go. We might have to sign another 2. Buzelis could still stay. We didn't have to trade him in this scenario. Lyles, we'll see what we want to do with him. And then, yeah, we're going to have to fill out the rest of our bench. But let's go straight to player options, and let's see what it's about to look like. So Carter actually accepts. So he'll be back, and then Hood-Schifino accepts. We're going to accept his, of course. Qualifying offers, nothing. And then for free agency, we have Tatum. We have Lonzo, which obviously, as I told you guys, we are going to resign Lonzo Ball. It looks like we actually even have more cap space, which is pretty wild to think about. We could sign another good player because obviously Austin Reaves isn't making much. RJ and then Patrick Williams and Claxton aren't making much either. So we're gonna sign Lonzo Ball back, no brainer. And then at this point, we could technically bring Patrick Williams off the bench and sign a better power forward, but we have like John Collins, Portis, Jalen Johnson, Kuminga, Franz Wagner, who arguably should have been in Chicago, but as we know, that trade happened. And then I think I'd rather sign just like a legitimate. I think I'd rather fill out my bench with this cap space. So we can get like Clint Capella, asking for $14 million. Of course, used to play with Mike D'Antoni. So you know what? Give me Capella off the bench to back up Claxton, and I'm cool with that. I'm living great with that. So Capella will be our backup center, which is great. He can reunite with, of course, like I said, Mike D'Antoni. Backup point guard's fine. And then now we need a backup forward, technically. And then shooting guard. Schifino could technically move to the 2. He's 6'5", so we can maybe run with that. We'll see. Let's just sign a power forward and live with it. So Kispert, Jalen Johnson. We have Trey Lyles, who was just here. So I'm actually cool with just re-signing Trey Lyles and calling it good. I don't want to go too crazy and fill out like a super team in free agency. So player progression, we have Reaves up to an 86, RJ 85, Claxton 84, 79, 78. Patrick Williams went down because we moved him, of course. But we got Capella now, which I think is an underrated signing. Once you have like 2 big men that can rebound and block shots, it's great in the 2K simulation. So, and of course in real life, you want guys that can do that. But we are going to simulate year number 3 at this point, and we're going to see if this team could maybe climb to the top of the standings in the East. I'm hoping we can. Feel good about our chances. I might boost Austin Reaves overall up just maybe like 2 more. But Power King's going to land us 16th overall, and we have Lonzo, Austin Reaves, RJ, Patrick Williams, Claxton, Capella, Buzelis, Trey Lyles, and Javon Carter. Looks good to me. I'll see you guys at the end of the season. We're up to just kidding. We're only 3.5 still. So I'll see you guys at the end of year number 3. So at the end of the season, Shannon Maxwell wins Executive of the Year, aka me, because this team was actually really good. 57-25 on the season. I doubt we get Austin Reaves making an All-NBA team, but that'd be freaking awesome. But unfortunately, that is not going to happen. All defense first team and all defensive. Lonzo Ball makes it, which is great. But we are the 2nd seed in the East. So we went up from the 6th seed to the 2nd seed. And obviously at this point, RJ Barrett was a beautiful addition. I know he'd be really good next to Austin Reaves, and he definitely did that for us. 14 from Lonzo with 6 assists, 12 from Montez Buzelis, 10 from Patrick Williams, 9 and 8 with 9 rebounds apiece from both of them. And also a block and 2 blocks, which is what we wanted from our center. So let's go ahead and see if we can beat Detroit in round 1. Like I said, they've been really bad in real life. But 2K obviously could be a whole different ball game. So let's see what happens. Somebody cut around against them. We were going to go down 2-1, but we're tied up, and now they go up 3-2. All right, so 3-2 lead for them. They want to fix our whole rotation. They want to start Lyles, don't they? Yep, Trey Lyles is going to start. So let's see if that changes anything for us going into this game 6 that we desperately need to win. A huge win here would be, forcing game 7, and it looks like we've done just that. So we do beat them 131-101, and now we have ourselves a huge game 7 in Chicago to go out of round 1 and get into round 2. So far, it's looking pretty good, and all we got to do is finish them off in the 4th quarter, and we do just that, 112-143, and now we are on to the Orlando Magic. So it's time for revenge for all the trades that they fleeced us on. We got Paulo Banchero, Kyrie Irving is now in Orlando, Wendell Carter, Jalen Suggs. This is a good team in Orlando. They got a good squad, so we're definitely not, going to guarantee win this series, but we'll see what happens. So play Kurt round, and we're down 2-0. Can we win? Yeah, okay. Can we win 2 straight? No, down 3-1. So we're gonna have to come back, backs against the wall, to see if we can make something happen here. So let's see if we can do just that. And right now, it's not looking good unless we make a comeback here. And we're down 14 in the 4th quarter. And we might have to run it back one more year. So we're probably going to go one more season on this video. And we lose in round 2 to Orlando. So playoffs. We're going to have the Orlando Magic make it all the way, and they're going to lose to the Thunder in 5. So even if we got to the finals, there's no guarantee we beat the Thunder anyway. Chris Paul's retiring a Wizard. Was there for like half a second, it felt like, this offseason. And then Bulls pick, we have the 27th overall pick, and then that's it. So not worried about the draft too much. Staff sign should be completely filled, other than, I guess, a wing whisperer. So we're going to fill this out. Get Mr. Malcolm Bonner. So welcome to the team. Let's go straight to player options, and let's see if there's anything we can do to better our team for this last. Well, Austin Reaves is declining, so we're gonna have to re-sign him, obviously. Dalen Terry, I'll extend the qualifying offer, but Reaves, $49 million, which is kind of crazy to think about, but I mean, he's kind of the theme of this video, so we are going to obviously re-sign him. I don't know if we're gonna do too much after that. I mean, we have money to sign, like we could bring Rui Hachimura back. We traded, of course. But Lonzo Ball, Joe Fino, that's fine. Colby Jones could be the backup too next year if he develops enough. Buzelis, Trey Lyles, Patrick Williams, and then Capella. So yeah, the only, position I would feel comfortable replacing would be the shooting guard spot. Definitely don't hate the idea of Kevin Huerter as a shooter, just in case Colby Jones does develop enough. So that's our big move. It's not fantastic, but the team was good enough last year that I'm confident in just running it back, to be honest with you. So Reaves up to an 89. Probably leave that the way it is now. And then Capella, Patrick Williams, Fino. I don't know if there's like a great, because I like Patrick Williams as a starter as a 3-and-D wing. He's shooting 45% from the 3, which is absolutely absurd. But we're gonna go next year, final season. We'll see if this is the year that Austin Reaves can bring a championship to Chicago. So this year we actually get the 60-win game mark, which is awesome. Now, will that lead to a championship is the question. I don't know if Reaves makes an All-NBA team this time, but that would be awesome. And unfortunately, he does not. But we do get nobody on all-defensive team either. So we are the 1st seed in the East, which is great. So we have a huge advantage there having the 1st seed. Player stats: Austin Reaves averages 26, RJ with 22, 13, 13, 11, and 11. And then I didn't actually even pay attention to what Colby Jones went up to. He went up to a 77. So I guess he would have been fine if he was in there, but whatever. So round 1, the Indiana Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton. Always love Halliburton. They have Jarris Walker, Miles Turner, Stephon. Good team in Indiana. Hopefully we can beat them, though. And so far, we are going to beat them in 5. Great start. Now we get Miami. CJ McCollum is now in Miami. They have Hero, Jimmy, Hami Hawkes, Daniel Gafford, Tobias Harris. It's a solid team in Chicago, or not Chicago, Miami. Obviously, Jimmy Butler playing in his former squad here as well. But we are going to best them and beat them in 5. But now for the Boston Celtics, we have Drew, Derek White, Brown, Tatum, Porzingis, Thibault, Christopher, Judah, and then Jordan Walsh. We'll see how this goes. Game 1, 1-0. Beat them pretty badly in game 1. Wow, Kevin Huerter is going to drop 27. I think it's safe to say we win that game. 2-0. Beat them by 4. So far, we've been absolutely dominant, but until now. And we've we go to let's go, baby. Okay, and we get the Lakers. I doubt the Kev Levine, but it would be awesome for let's go, baby. That's a perfect way to end this video. They keep Zach LaVine versus his former squad, and DeMar DeRozan. So both guys that were in Chicago. Honestly feel scripted. Like, that's crazy that they're both in LA now, but it makes a ton of sense. So former Bulls play the squad that we replaced them with. So let's see if we can win a championship. Game 1, 1-0, 103 to 89, 22 from Austin Reaves. Also Anthony Davis, obviously playing his his hometown team in Chicago. But so far it's looking good. Boston's the only team that gave it. Maybe I spoke to. Nope, we won a championship. So just like that, Boston gave us so many problems, or not that many problems, but they gave us some problems. But Reaves, Finals MVP, averages 22, and just like that, we end the video with the championship. Up to a 90 overall. Obviously, this video is complete fantasy, but still fun regardless. Will the trade happen between the Bulls and the Lakers by the trade deadline, whether it's for DeMar or Zach LaVine? I wouldn't rule it out. I think it's possible, but like I said, based off everything I've seen, it seems like neither fan base wants any part of it. So, should be fun. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.